Am I live? Of course I'm live. No talking, no intro tonight. Let's just go and get this done. Let's do this. How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you are well and all in good health. If you're wondering why I am looking like I'm about to rob a bank, I've got a terrible flu. Throat is sore, my eyes are puffy, my head is in a deep amount of pain. But it's not every week you get to come on a pod where Arsenal have won, Manchester United have lost, and Spurs have lost all in the same week. So without further ado, let's get this going. And of course, I got to introduce my guest. Let me start with my resident Chelsea fan, Master P. How's things, my brother?
I'm all right, and yourself, David D. Thanks for having me again. Appreciate it.
Anytime, my bro. I'm okay. Seeing you smiling and looking all relaxed and chilled. Just hopefully your positive energy can rub off on me, my guy.
Let's get it done. Let's see how it goes.
Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. And of course, I don't know if he's gonna be the man with the biggest smile tonight. Let's see if he is smiling. If he is smiling, as he always is smiling. Of course, he's smiling. Penny P, how's it going, my guy?
I'm good, bro, but I'm not smiling for United. I'm smiling for you. Look like you're gonna rob me of my phone. I put my phone in my sock when I saw you now.
Don't make me laugh, my bro. Don't make me laugh. It's painful. It's painful if I laugh. My whole abdomen is sore, whatever you call it. My abs are sore, if I even have abs. And of course, don't worry, Jigga and Beast will jump on later. But without further ado, like I said, it's not every time you get every week where Arsenal have won. And I can come on here knowing that United have lost and Spurs have lost, of course. So let's get it started. Benny P, there's no other place to start, but I want to put your week into context. So I'll first start with one picture. I have about 3 pictures for you, 4 actually. So this is how it started. It started like this.
Two.
And then
Cloud 9, bro. Cloud fucking 9.
Cloud 9. And then this was basically how it ended. Where is it? I don't know if it's on screen. Is it on
It's
screen?
on
Can you
screen.
go?
Yep.
Is it on screen?
I
I'm
see
probably
it. I saw
It is,
enough
yeah,
of
it
it,
is.
just to be honest.
Yeah. So that's that. Give me your thoughts, my guy. Give me your thoughts. Really, first tell me about what the week started like, because you know what, I hate United. I'm gonna put it out there straight. I hate United, but I must admit, like, I've experienced the nostalgia of Thierry Henry coming back, scoring on his debut. Pascal, you experienced Didier Drogba coming back to Chelsea, winning the league in that season. So there is a bit of nostalgia, of course, to it. I enjoyed that moment. I have to admit, when Ronaldo scored that second goal. So tell me, how did you feel?
Bruh, I lost my shit. Like, I try to not give into the whole CR7 thing, and I try to be pragmatic about it, but nah, bruh. I pulled that strings in the right places, and just him with that tap in, and we saw that it was Ronaldo. Bruh. That feeling, you can't describe it, and nothing else can give it to you. Nothing else. And in the second goal, that beauty. Bruh. The third goal. I think with the fourth goal, I shed a tear, bruh. It was beautiful. It was just when it came to 1-1 and the start of the game, it's like they looked for Ronaldo the entire time. They weren't playing the way they've been playing, this free-flowing attacking football, especially now in Old Trafford, because it's like every time they got the ball, they look for Bruno, they look for Ronaldo. They look for Pogba, they look for Ronaldo. So it was getting a little boring at times because it was also monotonous. But in the second half, nah, they turned up around. And why I'm not so disheartened about on Tuesdays, because by the looks of things, United look like a stronger second half squad, and the red card just killed everything. We dominated them from start to the red card. We had a brilliant opening, scored with Ronaldo. Everything looked to go according to plan. The red card killed us. And it was a true test to see the mentality of the squad. They failed. It was a piss poor performance. But as poor as United's performance was, young boys exploited it. It was a masterclass tactically from young boys in that second half. The way they 1v1, 3v1, pull everybody to the one side, switch it over. They played brilliantly. And our defense coped for it for quite a while. It had to be at least 4 to 5 in the second half with the opportunities that they had. And I can see the change that Solskjaer made also. He didn't expect us to be as poor in midfield. But if you look at our midfield, it was 3 against 6 at most times. And we were just outrun. There was no plan B for the red card. I don't think United had to ever play this long with a red card. It's the first under Solskjaer that I can remember. And we failed miserably because if I compare it to the Liverpool-Chelsea game, where Chelsea played the entire second half against a fully fit Liverpool team, ready to go, they never had a sniff at goal in that entire second half.
Yeah.
And by the looks of things, if there would be a winner, it would be Chelsea in that match. So that is a test of their mentality where they passed and United miserably failed.
Okay, look, you say that, but my thing is, this brother, this guy, I blame him. I honestly
for taking Ronaldo, you blame him for the red card.
Not for the red card, but I mean, but surely, Benny, with all that quality you've got on the pitch, I mean, you surely still should see it out, even. See it out at best against young boys.
Yeah, it was a point gained until that Jesse mistake. It's individual errors and that shit happens in football, bro. 9 times out of 10, we play that game, we win that game. To be honest with you. 9 times out of 10, we bust young boys. It just wasn't happening for us that night. And they wanted it more. And football is a beautiful game because these results is what makes football the beautiful game. Young boys fully deserve that. Fully. And the scenes at the end, it was beautiful. Hello, Beaster. Are you jogging?
Good evening, guys.
What are you on Rondebosch fucking common?
I'm doing a jigger special.
In the calm.
A mobile.
Evening, Beast. How's it going, my bro?
Good. What's up with the glasses?
Here we go again. I've got the horrible flu, man, and my eyes are as puffy as ever.
8 Mile in Navarra. 8 Mile in Navarra. You say Arsenal's future's so bright.
I knew that was coming. I knew somebody was going to say it. I knew somebody was going to say it.
Arsenal's future's so bright. The man's wearing sunnies at 10 to 8 in the evening.
I knew I'm going to let this down. But if you guys should see my eyes, you'll be scarred for life. Last question before we move on from United. Do you still think Ole is the right man for the job, given the fact that Conte and Zizou are available?
At the end of the day, United have lost 10 out of 11 games in the Champions League under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And last season, we were basically through. We went out in the group stage. That cannot happen this year. It cannot happen this season. And if it does, I think majority of the fans will turn because you can't, with the squad and the investment that they've put in you, not go through to the group stage. So I'm happy with what is the squad that is built in the time that he's been there. I'm over the moon with our squad. I'm the most excited I've been about a United squad in a very long time. But the thing is, he has to be the biggest person in that dressing room. Easy. You put up a pic early on about where Solskjaer was standing, Ronaldo and Bruno right next to him. I don't agree with that. Solskjaer is our manager. Solskjaer is our manager. He has to be the biggest person in that dressing room. Is that the case? Is that the case? We don't know. That is what I spoke about last week in our pod, the dynamics of the team. That's the picture that I'm talking about. Why are they there? Why are they standing next to the manager, giving out instructions? And then we lose 2-1. We lose 2-1, man. I can remember in the Euros 2016 in the final, Ronaldo was the one picking out the penalty players, the penalty takers. He's the one that went up to Moutinho and said, come, you kicking. Who are you?
and he was walking all over the touchline. If you remember, like the whole time,
he basically managed the final.
he was, exactly.
He managed
He was
that final on
pretty
one
nice.
leg.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that at all. And if Solskjaer is not man enough to be that man in the dressing room, then unfortunately he has to go. Because if you look at who's available, Conte is available, Zidane is available. Zidane managed Ronaldo. They won 4 Champions Leagues together. Zidane will be the biggest person in that dressing room when he comes in. Yes, Solskjaer is a legend of United. Zidane is a legend of Real Madrid, but Zidane has proven himself as a manager. Where Solskjaer is yet to. He's yet to prove himself. So, am I all in? 100%. 100%. Because if you look at the squad that when he came in and you look at the squad today, United have arguably one of the top 3 squads in the world. I would say, in my opinion.
I'll agree with that.
So, all in for now, yes. The Champions League, I'm not too disheartened about it. Shit happens in football. You would like to start your Champions League in the proper way, like the rest of y'all did, except you did. But, sorry.
That's fine. I'm loving it. I'm stress-free.
There's more to come, and you should win your home games in the Champions League and 1 away, and you're basically through. So, I see us winning home and away to Villarreal. I see us winning at least 1. Okay, both our home games. All 3 are home games, so we should be fine. But yeah, interesting times ahead. If it doesn't make it through, I think he will be sacked. Because it seems to me that Conte and Zidane is waiting.
Was waiting exactly for that job,
For this United post. Like Pochettino was waiting. So, interesting times ahead.
Yeah, fair enough. I agree. Let's move on to Chelsea. Big Rom, Master P. He keeps firing, and give me your take on the efficiency over both games, my guy.
Well, where Romelu Lukaku is,
you're freezing, bro.
Concerned, we can all be, happy and satisfied because that's what we brought him in there for. You know what I mean? So. Technically, I mean, as a Chelsea fan, 100% satisfied. Happy to see the man firing from the start. If you remember a couple of pods back, I said that I wouldn't want to hear any excuses from Lukaku coming back into the league with the team that he has. And there 100%. Should be some story about him adjusting to the league or whatever. I don't want to hear any of that because he's played there enough.
And he doesn't need to settle in. That was your words.
Yeah, he had to start from the beginning, banging in the goal. So I'm more than satisfied with that. What I'm disturbed about is I'm not happy with the last 2 games, the performances of the team. And what I would tell you, gents, tonight is the following. And I know David D, that's why you always say I'm pessimistic, but I try to be as realistic as I can when I'm talking Chelsea or any other team. You know what I mean? If we're terrible, I'm gonna tell you guys that we're terrible. I think Chelsea title hopes at this point in time, based on what we have on that pitch, will be dependent on whether N'Golo Kante is healthy or not. Because without him in that midfield, bruh, you saw what was happening in that Villa game. I mean, So had a terrible debut, I must say. He should have been substituted in the first 15 minutes, in my opinion. Like, he kept passing, he kept losing the ball. He was out of, and I know it's his first game in the Premier League. I get all of that. But he and what bailed Kovacic out was the assist to Romelu Lukaku and the gift of the goal that he scored. But otherwise, him and So holding down that midfield was a terrible idea. And I know that maybe the coach was looking at the Spurs game and was thinking, okay, well, Jorginho can chill on the bench on this one, and we're going to use him for that game. And maybe N'Golo Kante comes in the Spurs game. I don't know what the mindset behind that was, but I wasn't happy with especially the midfield. That was terrible, bro. And to see Chelsea so much under pressure, bro, at home with this team. And I mean, before halftime, it could have easily been 3-0 down if it wasn't for Mendy, in my opinion.
Mendy, yeah.
And Thiago Silva, who I've been on his case for the most of the time.
Guys, you must understand that the Champions League is not easy.
Exactly. So my thing is, Thiago Silva was brilliant. Mendy was brilliant. Lukaku did what he needed to do. But man, we need N'Golo Kante back because I think we take for granted what he does in that midfield. I'm telling you. And he left. We were wide open in that game. I didn't like it, but I'll take the 3 points. Obviously, like Benny said a couple of pods ago, where it was like, sometimes in order to win the league, you need to play terrible and still win or get a result or something. So they did that. I'm satisfied with that part. But the general performance of the team now, I wasn't really happy about it. I mean, like I mentioned, Ziyech should have been off like after 30 minutes, in my opinion. I mean, I would have even rather had Werner maybe play or something in that position than Ziyech in that game against Villa. And in the Champions League game, look, it was. I do understand it's easy to criticize a team when they're defending it because the narrative changes. You know what I mean? You're defending champions as opposed to playing with house money on the basis that you haven't won anything yet. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
It's always easy to be critical on a team that's established. But I wasn't really happy with that Champions League performance as well. It was Romelu Lukaku's brilliance that basically bailed us out. So overall, I'm happy with the results, but not satisfied with the performance of the team as a whole.
Fair enough. It's interesting that you mentioned Romelu Lukaku because I want to play a bit of devil's advocate here. I know Roma's firing, but are you concerned that Mount, Ziyech and Havertz haven't got going yet? Comparing, like they haven't been creating as much for him as they did for Werner last season.
Yeah, well, I think the one guy that I can give a pass to will be Mason Mount, simply because of the responsibility that this kid was bearing the whole of last season. I mean, if there was one Chelsea player that was very consistent, it was him. You know what I mean? And so 4 games into, and he had a long Euros as well, as you know. So I gotta believe that maybe that's just part of it. Might just be, the whole point of being hangover with too much playing time over the last 12. So he I give a pass to. But where Ziyech and the others are concerned, my man, they need to start showing up because this thing of showing up in bits and pieces, I'm not really convinced about that, especially if you want to challenge week in and week out. You need your front men to be firing because, like you're saying, anything happens to Romelu Lukaku, somebody has to fill in the shoes. And when you look at our attacking options, we've got as many attacking options as Man City have. And the only difference is Man City spread their goals around the guys. You know what I mean? Like you don't know who's gonna kill you that day. But with this Chelsea team, there's so many question marks, especially with the likes of Havertz, Ziyech. I can even go. I mean, Werner. We know Werner is missing sitters, and at some point they gotta get their act together. And
Pascal, a few months ago they won you the Champions League. Pascal, a few months ago they won you the Champions League. This players that you're mentioning now.
No, I know that, and I'm not even throwing them under the bus. I'm just talking about the level of consistency. Because if you're gonna win the league, trust me, you're not gonna win it just because of Romelu Lukaku. You know what I mean? At some point, other front three have to show up in those type of games. You know what I mean? So that's my only concern. The Champions League, I'm not so much worried about that because, like you're saying, these guys have picked their moments. I mean, if you look at the Champions League campaign itself, every one of those guys scored some crucial goals at some point. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give him a pass in the Champions League, but when you have to win the league, you know that you gotta show up at least. I mean, the majority of those 38 games, you gotta be there. So that's my only concern in terms of the supporting cast that Romelu Lukaku is gonna have to work with up front.
I think you're lucky in the sense of Romelu Lukaku knowing the league, and I think we have that same thing with Ronaldo knowing the league because you're gonna have to give your new transfers that at least January to fully settle in. So if you look at Jadon Sancho, for instance, he's poor, but give him until January. So we're lucky in the sense of Ronaldo knows the league, Romelu knows the league, and that is why I'm saying for Saul that had that poor debut. He needs to get up to speed. The league is not the same. Not at all.
Yeah. No, he had a terrible game. Like, seriously. Like, for me, I just felt like after 30 minutes, you might as well just sub.
Like, Kevin, I think you need to move back to the room where you were the last time. Go back to the garage. Or take off the sunglasses. I think the sunglasses fucking with the signal.
Why?
Nah,
What's
but it's
wrong?
fine. It's fine.
I can hear you guys
Nothing-
clearly.
Nothing is happening here.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I can hear
Look
you.
at you freezing now.
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm sitting in one. I'm listening.
No, he's not. He's he's
He's
alright
just
by me.
sitting so.
Oh, then it's here by me.
I'm just sitting. My glasses is fooling you. Don't worry. I'm fine. I can hear you clearly. Poker face glasses, boy. But look, let's carry on. Beaster, what is your opinion before we come on to Liverpool? Of course, Pascal did mention that City can spread the goals around. Liverpool have won the league with the front three as well. But I'm sure, even in that season, there were midfielders. Gini Wijnaldum, Fabinho chipped in there and there with a goal. Henderson also scored some vital goals in the season. You guys won the league. What is your opinion about it, actually? Do you feel that the goals should be spread around? Or maybe only have one focal point scoring all the goals?
My thing is, if it works for you that one scores and the others are missing chances, then you have a problem. But if the others are, let me put it like this, if they are getting chances and they're not scoring, like Timo Werner now, and not getting chances and not scoring is two different things. So if Mason Mount, Havertz, Ziyech was missing chances, I would have said there's concern. Chelsea should be concerned because now it's only Lukaku firing. But it's not been like that because like we saw them last season, they've been playing as a team unit, playing for each other. Whoever scores doesn't matter. This season, they are playing for Lukaku. So we expect to see Lukaku on the score sheet. But I don't think if he shouldn't play, that they won't score. I will still see Mount, Ziyech, Havertz. We saw Havertz in the Euros for Germany. What he was doing, he was playing like their number 9. He was scoring the most goals. So we know he has it in him. But the focus is not on him this season. They're not playing for him. They're playing for Lukaku. So if I'm Pascal, I wouldn't be concerned. I would be if Lukaku was out for 2 weeks and they were scoring lucky goals, set piece goal, a defender scores. Then I would be concerned that the front three or the remaining three is not firing. But at this moment, I see no cause for concern for Chelsea with when it comes to scoring and the other players not being involved. Because I don't know if you guys notice it or if it's just me, but Kovacic has not been as involved as he was without Lukaku being there. Because even though it was a easy goal that he scored on Saturday or Sunday, it wasn't, that opportunities never came to him last season. But with the style they're playing now, he is getting that opportunity. So that I give to Tuchel because he's playing Kovacic for that reason. Whereas Kante might not do that. When Kante scores, they think he's going to pass. I always go back to that goal he scored against United, where I think he toe poked the ball over the keeper's head.
Yeah.
And he literally beat 3 players because Kante to pass the ball. He's going to win it back, he's going to pass it. And that goal, he just didn't pass it. He went through 3 defenders and he scored. So Kovacic is generally or naturally able to do that. Where Kante, you don't expect him to do that. So I think that's why he got the nod ahead of Kante for that reason. Because the way I see it, the way he's seeing it, they have one striker. They're playing with one striker. It's just Lukaku. So anyone can chip in with a goal. When Lukaku was not playing and they played the Chelsea that played last season, they play like Liverpool play, which is 3 strikers, 2 wingers and a striker. But it's not necessarily like that now because now you see James and Alonso playing in the half. And it's just Lukaku and that midfield is packed, but it's packed with goal scorers. It's packed with people that can create something. Where Kante is just going to be your cleanup. Remember Kovacic by Real Madrid was your cleanup. He was the Kante.
Cleanup, yeah.
He wasn't the guy that was going to do the magic that Toni Kroos would do. Kovacic was the one that would roam around. So I don't think that Pascal should be concerned with them not firing. I think if the limelight or the gameplay was focused around him, they would chip in. Everyone knows what Mount can do, what Ziyech can do, what Havertz can do. So if their formation changes, if their style of play changes, even with Lukaku on the bench, I do see them getting on the score sheet. Just with the way they're playing now, Lukaku's stronger than most centre-backs. And they forcing on that now. So why not? It's working for them. It worked for them for the first 4 games. So why not continue with it?
Fair enough. I can hear that as well. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it works for them, it works. I'd rather be in their position than my current one, but that's a topic for another day. Now let's come on to Hendo caps of a stunning week for Pool. Please first give me your thoughts on what for me was a controlled and stunning display against Leeds. However, it was overshadowed by, of course, the Elliott injury. Give me your thoughts on that game, and of course, we'll jump on to last night's game as well.
That game was the perfect game I would use in my contradiction to what I said last year when I was still in Joburg and I jumped on that one pod when Thiago was thrown into the deep end. And I said that guys shouldn't put him in the shadows because he's stepping into a team that is injured. He's stepping into a team that is not Liverpool that won the league. So give him a chance for us to get our full strength team in and then rate him. He had a man of the match performance on Sunday against Leeds. He single-handedly controlled that midfield. He knew when to pace up the game. He knew when to slow it down. And that's why we brought him in. And because we had the likes of Van Dijk in his position, Salah firing, Mane firing, okay, I won't use that name, Jota firing, we saw the real Thiago. And that's the Thiago that we wanted. And because of him controlling that midfield, we controlled that. We bossed that game, which I didn't expect, honestly. I expected Leeds to come at us and for us to counter them, which in actual fact, we were, even before the red card, we were bossing the game. We were controlling the tempo of the game. We were in control of most of the ball. So I was very happy with the performance up there. I'm still concerned about a front three, a bit of them not firing. And that will probably lead me to the next question that you have. So, yeah, about the Leeds game, I honestly feel it was a Thiago.
Were you worried about not firing in your front three?
Mane.
I think he played quite even when he came on last night.
The chances that he missed, he should have had a hat-trick in the first half, which is what we can't afford. And that comes back to the topic that I don't know if we can go in there yet, or if we're still on the Leeds topic, I'll give it over to Davey.
No. Go ahead. Go on. Carry on.
So in the Champions League, a lot of people, even including me, would say that had the penalty gone in, it wouldn't have been that first half that the first half had happened. But
the 2-1.
Regardless, no, it would have been 2-0 if he scored that penalty.
Yeah.
So,
that's 2-0.
So even if he missed that penalty and our other chances went in, it still wouldn't have been that ball game. I see that as AC being the AC that we know from the 2005 Istanbul final, from the 2006 Champions League final. It's that same mentality that they have. So that penalty was just the chance to go in. And the reason why I enjoyed Klopp's decisions on yesterday was that we didn't change anything. We came in there. The way I saw it, when I saw that starting 11, was like, what can Liverpool do if we lose Van Dijk? This would be our team. What would happen if we lose Mane? This would be our team. So we went in there, we scored first, we bossed that first off. Before they scored the 2, we were in control and we should have been 3 up before the penalty. So
20 minutes.
Created charge.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we bossed that entire game. When we missed the penalty, everything changed. We conceded a sloppy goal. Virgil van Dijk, the camera was straight on him. We conceded the second goal, the camera was again on him, showing his frustration. We went into the halftime break. We came out with the exact same 11. Not panicking and sitting back, sticking to the game plan. Not going into, now we need to go and recover this. So bring on Van Dijk, bring on Mane. No. Stay, relax, play your game. That is what we need to do. Show them that the starting 11 can do the job. I don't care if it was young boys we played or AC Milan. A Klopp's decision would not have changed. And the boys stepped up. And that is...
Off with that guys, Off with that capital.
Look how he sneaked that one in there.
Why are you saying spectrum to what? Don't you agree with?
Look how he sneaked that one in there.
No, I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
No, but it's 100%. I agree
but
with that as well.
Also, remember, start of the second half, that offside goal that AC scored. But it was like...
Yeah.
That was Nick. That was Nick.
3-1 at the start of second half changes everything.
Exactly.
I still don't think we would have made changes as, how can I say, damage control changes, even if it was 3-1.
I think at 3-1, yes. I think at 3-1, yes.
Not that early in the game, Benny. Not that early.
Yeah,
not
a minute into second half.
not with
But
Jurgen
but
Klopp.
I fully understand you saying that Klopp would have stuck to his game plan, right?
He would
Yes,
have.
And he did, and it worked out in the end.
we saw it in the past. I remember Bram asking me last week, "Who are you gonna scare with Origi? Who are you if you bring on a player? Who are you gonna scare?" I wanted to mention at that time with the Barca game, where we were 3-0 down, and the subs that he made, we were 1-0 down to a United team. We brought on Shaqiri and Origi, Lallana. People say, who are you going to scare if you bring these players on? You need quality players. We brought on Origi and one held them that won us that semi-final. We brought on Shaqiri that single-handedly got Mourinho fired. So I don't believe it's the player that Klopp brings on. If Klopp has a system set out, whoever plays there, obviously you would have your better performers than the ones that's not as good as what the others are. But the mindset of Klopp is anyone can do the job. Whether I bring on, if I need a difference up front, whether it's Mane I bring from the bench, Salah from the bench, or Origi from the bench, it's a different dynamic. The lucky goal against Everton, we picked Fedit the ball up, it was Origi. Who reacted first to the ball? Origi. So there is special traits in all of them. And like I said, and I'll always say it, I believe in Klopp. If he believes that team, that squad that we have, with Curtis Jones, bringing him on in the Champions League for his first game in 12 months, in the Champions League fixture, bringing in a centre-back pairing without Virgil van Dijk, it shows the dynamic in the team. And that is why I'm saying we don't need a signing, because he can do that. He can bring on. I was so frustrated with Henderson before the goal, even after the goal, that he was not the Henderson that we know. That
The
should
crowd
have
was
been
booing
more.
him. The crowd was actually
Yeah.
booing him.
I
Hence
was
the celebration.
I was sitting and watching the game, and I was like, take Henderson off of Thiago, take Henderson off. And I was like, just take him off. And Keita was leaning towards more the one to bring more impact than Henderson in the game. So I was like, keep him on, take Henderson off. And just from that corner, he scored. It didn't change my mind to say, no, still leave him on. That goal didn't make it okay. We need the Henderson for the full 70 minutes before that. In that 70th, we need that Henderson that we know of last season and the season before, that we play poor if he's not there. And you can see the role that he's getting now is not really a captain's role, because we'll start a Premier League fixture with him on the bench.
Yeah.
Easily. No injury, not coming back from him, but he'll be on the bench. And that
And
is the
Van Dijk's your
dynamic
captain
that
now?
Klopp is. Yeah.
Van Dijk's your captain when Henderson is
And
on
I'm
the
so
bench.
glad that we started with the 11 that we did against AC Milan without the people that we used to rely on. So not to say that we don't need them, but just to show that we building players that used to be with, we had to play with Van Dijk, we can play as Van Dijk's replacement now. So Gomez and Matip, they've learned a lot of how can I say, skill or confidence or whatever you want to call it, ever since Van Dijk came there. And it doesn't, it used to be only when Van Dijk is there, now it shows. But it shows now even without Van Dijk there. And that for me is promising. So, yeah.
Now, just to jump in there, what Beaster said, David D, before you move on.
No, go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say that the one thing that Tuchel reminds me of, way the connection is with Klopp, is that I think they've got this ability to believe in players, even when they play performing at 100% best. You know, it's they stick to, they don't panic about any situation that they face in any football game. You know what I mean? Like something might be going wrong, and they'll still leave it up to the players on the field to work it out somehow. And that's something that what Beast is saying is something that I can also relate with in regards to my team. If you see the amount of rotations that we have in that team with our starting 11 for any given game, it's pretty much the same as what Frank Lampard was doing. The only difference is this guy is getting the results from these guys. You know what I mean? And that comes back to that whole. Yeah, exactly. It just comes back to that whole.
They're not conceding goals. They're not conceding goals.
Rudiger's a perfect example of that, in my opinion. Before Tuchel, they wanted him gone. Look now.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, he had the biggest hand in getting Tuchel there.
Yeah.
So when you see that, like what Beast is saying, I totally agree with that. It's actually encouraging, because then you know that you've got a coach there who who's just not gonna bench you just because you had one bad game. He's gonna let you figure it out, and if he needs to talk to you, then he's gonna do it somewhere else, and then he's gonna give you another run in another game, and that's how players continue to produce on a high level. You know what I mean? And as a result, you have all these. You've got like 23 players who are willing to play for that jersey. And I mean, it can only lead to better results for any other team that adopts that type of mindset. So the two coaches are similar in that way. That's just basically what I wanted to say.
I'd like for Jesse to start our game.
That damage control
I really like.
That damage control that you do when you are like, had we conceded that third goal, and you change the mindset of everyone else on the field, because now if you're panicking, everyone's going to be panicking. The 11 is on the field. That 2 subs that you make, everyone knows we're going into a different mode now. But if you stick to your 11, your game plan stays the same. You might change a few things here and then on the pitch with the same 11, but you don't have that change of mind like, we in shit now, we need to sort this out.
Exactly. And you know what Beaster says reminds me, there's a game with back in the day when Mourinho was still the special one. So Chelsea is playing there and they're messing up the game. Like Michael Essien getting a yellow card. Like guys are totally losing their heads in the midfield. And all Mourinho does now, so he gets up, walks to the touchline near obviously the ground, and he basically screams at Michael Essien, and I think the other one was Ballack, if I'm not mistaken. And all he does is he just basically takes his finger, he points up to his head like that, and he tells them to think about what they do next. And bruh, before you know it, Chelsea is busy firing, getting back into the game, and they're winning the game. You know what I mean? And that's what you need from a manager, especially like what Benny was saying. If you're gonna be managing big egos and big names, you need somebody who's gonna stick up to what he believes in, and is gonna leave those guys on the field to fix it themselves, because those guys are grown men. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, that also builds character and obviously the closeness of the squad in terms of their ability to stay united as a team. Originates from moments like those. So I totally agree with what Beaster was saying. The fact that Klopp didn't just jump into making double substitutions like any other coach would have done in that moment. He let them do their thing, and in the end, it paid off. Now, obviously, if it wasn't gonna pay off, then maybe make some substitutions later on. But at the end of the day, that's what you do, man. And that's a sign of a great manager, in my opinion.
Sure, Penny, were you gonna say something?
I sometimes don't agree, because I can remember in the games where United was behind 2-0 in the first half, change in the second half time change, and that player comes on to win the game. It happened 25 times last season. So I like a proactive coach rather than a reactive coach. So I don't agree with that at all, to be honest.
No, but it depends. It depends with what you're working with. You know what I mean? In your case, look at what Oli has in that situation last season. I'm not going to talk about this season because of it's different with the signings that you've made. But like sometimes, look, it depends with the personnel that you have. If I'm looking at the Liverpool team, that's a team that's been there and done that. You know what I mean? So he clearly knows that he can count on those fellas, do or die moments in terms of like what he's got there on the pitch. You know what I mean? So I think it works in different ways. Like Sir Alex Ferguson back in those days, he still had the likes of Solskjaer, who every time he put in that bra would score you would score like an important goal. You know what I mean? So he knows the personnel that it might work for United, but it might not work for Liverpool, because Klopp already knows what he's chilling with on the pitch. You know what I mean? So I think it depends with the personnel that you're also working with.
It also comes down to what Benny's saying and what we're saying. It doesn't mean the one is right, the one is wrong. So it's not about agreeing or not agreeing. Because Liverpool will also do what Ole does. He brings on Origi. I mentioned that examples earlier. We brought on Shaqiri, he scored 2 against Liverpool. But now what you're referring to of 25 times, 10 times that is happening, who says the starting 11 was then right? Because if you need to wait every game to make a change, and that person makes a difference. Who says you get for 6 weeks? Maybe your starting 11 is wrong. If our starting 11 is right, and we then
that's what on the pitch. That was my idea of the comebacks. Because why do you have to go behind every single game? Why are you not starting games better? Why do you have to wait until the second half in order to pick up your play? Why not do it from the first whistle? And I still don't understand it, why United is the second half team. Why we start so poor. We always do it. We've been doing it ever since Solskjaer has managed United.
Yeah.
We end of games a lot stronger than what we start them, which I never can understand. And sometimes it's not even just the subs. Sometimes it's that starting 11 that just has a brilliant second half.
Yeah, true. Look,
Yeah, that is
the same
something
like
that
with us,
you have to figure out.
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Mr. P. It's the same like with us with Unai Emery when you went on that long unbeaten run. My answer to that was if plan B. Get your plan A straight first and then also. But I mean, look, the coaches that we've mentioned now is nowhere near Tuchel and Klopp, in my opinion. But anyway, let's move on. Prediction time. Where do we start? Actually, let's start with the Jesse Lingard Derby. Manchester United versus West Ham.
Jesse Lingard Derby. I'd really like him to start this game because I'd really like for Jesse to start this game. I don't think he will because he's not a starting 11 player in Solskjaer's eyes. But especially this game, I'd like for him to start, and especially after his mistake, I'm going for United to win 2-1. Yeah.
Fair
It's a
enough.
comeback.
Your side, Beast?
Comeback.
I'm actually against Benny on this one. I'm more for. I've been scrappy United all the time, but I think the defeat in the week is gonna make them come out stronger in the week, and I don't see them conceding on the weekends. I would say 2-0 to United.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Okay. I'm going 3-1 West Ham. Pile on the misery.
Wow.
Yo, that would really
Wow.
pile on the misery, eh?
Yo, but
then
the Ole outs will be extremely loud.
Then it's
The
gonna
Ole
be
outs
big.
will
Yeah.
be
Ronaldo.
extremely loud. Bro, I think they'll make United Ronaldo manager player.
What says 2-0 United? Master P, what you saying, my bro?
Where is the game being played at? Is it at the London Stadium?
West Ham.
At the London Stadium, my guy.
London Stadium.
Then I'll call it a draw, bro,
I'm
because
gonna
I'm with,
Sticking with you,
I wasn't-
Pascal.
I wasn't gonna go with a 2-2 per se. I was thinking 1-1, but at the end of the day, I think it's gonna end into a draw. I don't know. Look, Benny, I got a lot of love, for CR7. Like he's my favorite player, probably pretty much of my generation in terms of what I've seen. But there's just something about the rest of the other guys I don't trust. I mean, Bruno is fine. Varane but I mean, the other guys on the pitch, the other 8 or 7 or 8.
Really, Pascal? Really, Pascal?
Yeah.
You say that this United team consists of Bruno and CR7?
Is
that what you're saying?
To be honest with you, Benny, there's just something that's not, I'm just not convinced in terms of what you're gonna get. Not their quality, because we know they're quality players, right? But I just don't. You don't know what type of what to expect from certain individuals in that team, and these are key individuals. You know what I mean? Like for instance, I'll give you an example, right? There are moments where, like Maguire, and Maguire looks quality. There are times where he looks like the best defender in the world, and then you see what's happening the next week. You're like, okay, well, that is a rookie mistake. You know what I mean? So I know Cristiano is gonna hold everybody accountable. I do, but like because of that, in that atmosphere, with the fans back in that London Stadium, it's West Ham. They're usually like a banana skin for somebody. I just think
It's West Ham without Antonio. It's West Ham without Antonio, if I'm not mistaken.
that will make them
still out.
go, I suppose, but I just think it'll be a 1-1. I really do. Is this something about
Right,
your crew?
Fair enough, Pascal. Fair enough. But remember your fucking words, brother. Remember your words. Remember your words. The shit
1-1.
is recorded, brother.
It'll be a draw. I don't think you guys are gonna lose.
Clip that shit.
I'll clip it, don't worry. I've made a note of it already. I know
Thank
exactly
you.
what time it is
United
at the
is
time.
CR7 and Bruno. Huh. The fucking cheek.
I'll come back to it. I'll play it next week as well for us. Who versus Palace? Pista, what you saying? Palace.
I think
I'm not gonna go for Vieira doing it again. I said Vieira was gonna do it
It's
over
not
Spurs.
Tottenham. It's not Tottenham.
I don't know about this
I
one.
still
young-
feel that it was more personal for Vieira than Palace versus Spurs. It was more like Arsenal versus Spurs. So
Yeah.
I do see the Edward getting some confidence, Gallagher, Zaha. He's been misfiring last season, the end of last season, all the time. So that penalty for him, I feel like they can see something brewing in the Palace team. But I do feel us dominating the game, and that would bring them back down to earth. And we'll run away with a 3-0 again this week, just to go top of the leg.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going with Davino on this one. 2-0 Liverpool. Penny B?
2-0 Liverpool. Salah
Master
score
P?
goal.
I'll go with, I think, 3-1 Liverpool.
Okay, so we're all going with Liverpool. Imagine if Patrick must come out of Anfield with a draw. Hey, hey.
Sure.
Yo,
That one.
I'm really
Yeah.
impressed with that Gallagher lighting of Chelsea. Yo, that
Yeah.
lighting is
Ah,
class.
the
they,
kid,
Bro,
have a brilliant youth system, really.
but this kid though, he dominated the entire Tottenham team
Yeah.
from start
he
to
remind
finish.
me of
It was just
Odegaard.
him.
yeah, the kid can play. Huh?
Let's not go there.
Odegaard when he was
Nice
12.
evening.
Odegaard when he was 12.
If that kid keeps that up the whole season, I can guarantee he's not gonna be going anywhere on loan next season. I'm telling you, he's gonna be in that
He
Chelsea
won't
team.
go.
Where will he
I'm
fit in
telling
the
you.
Chelsea team now? I don't think he'll come back to Chelsea. I just will
Dude.
sell him.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm sure there's always gonna be somebody who we can get rid of. If he continues doing what he's doing, oh my goodness me, I don't think we're gonna keep him. I really do believe that.
Callum Hudson-Odoi, Robin Loftus-Cheek,
Tammy
Gallagher,
Abraham.
why is he even there? This is players that
Yeah.
you spoke the same about, the same, exact same.
Yeah, well, you know,
Exactly.
a year.
I was
from
just
now
gonna
is-
say that now.
a year
Exact
from
same.
now, bro. Like
It's
seriously, and
not feasible for a good youth player to be in City's team and in Chelsea's team. I don't believe.
And
That is why you see a lot of the good kids coming from Manchester City now to United. There's a striker I know. He's under 17, Charlie McNeil. This kid is brilliant. He scores like 50 goals per season, every season from under 7 till now. He recently left Chelsea City for United because he sees it as a better route to the first team. Whereas you're not going to
obviously.
get that in City. You must be a world beater in Foden's class in order to make the City team. And the same with Chelsea. I mean, who are those Chelsea players there except Reece James is homegrown? Not one.
And that I was just gonna add to what Benny said now, where United and Liverpool uses that system, the others don't do that. They, especially the teams with the big monies, Chelsea, Cities, if they get a young player through the ranks, they make money off it because they're willing to pay 150 million rand for the best midfield in the world. Then to take their 19-year-old boy that came up the ranks and there's potential in him, they'll rather sell him. Make back off
For
the money
20,
and go
30 million,
sign.
which is what Chelsea did this season.
Look what
Yeah,
they did
so
in this
quite a
season
lot of
transfer window.
players.
Exactly.
Yeah, they sold for good money, So it can be a business model. It can be a business model, but like I was saying, for the player itself in the academy, I don't think it's a good idea in being a good player in City or Chelsea's academy, unless if you look at it the other way, it's you guaranteed a route to professional football. In other words, because they will sell you, they will find you a team.
True. Look at the right back that they sent now to Southampton.
Livramento,
Livramento, another one. Another one.
And there's been a lot of noise about him. I have heard of Livramento at least 2 years ago.
Sure,
and I
I
can see
never
the
heard of
quality
him.
now. I've heard about him from Chelsea's loan system because when Lampard took over, remember there was the signing
He couldn't
ban.
sign.
He
Yeah.
couldn't sign, and then
And that's when he popped up.
they gave what? They had a review of like 30 odd Chelsea players that's on loan all over the world. And he was like one of the top 5. I can't remember. That time. And you can see now he's brilliant.
He is brilliant. Speaking of Chelsea, the big game for me this weekend, Master P. I hope Red Rom or Big Rom bullies them again so they can come into the North London Derby low on confidence and I can win and then I can go above them. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Bro, he's not playing 2 weeks in involves, bro.
I said I want 3 from 3. We already got the one Norwich one out of the way. We're gonna do Burnley,
No, it's
and then
so
we're gonna.
wow in your Arsenal now. That's a lot of
That's
thinking work.
I
that's
see his name changed. I didn't notice now. Kennedy, not David.
Kennedy. Nah,
I haven't seen Kennedy in a while.
Nah. Master P, your thoughts on this one, my guy? Chelsea
Obviously,
Spurs.
it's gonna be a big game. It's a derby. Anything can happen. I see some madness happening in the game. The usuals. Maybe somebody gets sent off, that type of thing. But like in the end, it's gonna be tight. I'm gonna go 2-1. I was gonna go for a 1-1 draw, but I just think with the Romelu Lukaku X factor, I gotta believe that at one point they won't be able to contain him the whole game. You know what I mean? So I think we're in a position to steal a little victory here, maybe 2-1 to Chelsea. I don't think it'll be a dominant performance on our part. Like I'm saying, it's a derby. But at the end of the day, I think we've got enough in the starting 11 to steal a victory. And I also gotta believe that there are certain people who he did not use. Who that is, I bet that's a big hell behind that. But anyway, yeah, no, but I think it'll be 2-1 to Chelsea in this game, yeah.
Fair
I'm
enough.
on the other.
I'm going 3-0 to Chelsea.
Wow.
Smash
I'm
them.
going 2-1 Spurs. 2-1 Spurs. Lukaku to
Wow.
score, but Dele Ali scoring. Dele Ali.
You guys must remember Spurs is playing tonight away in France against Rennes. So it's the perfect time to play them. Yes, you play Champions League in the week, but you played at home. You didn't travel.
Yeah.
Perfect time to play Spurs.
I see
I see
Nuno
it. I
bouncing
see it
back
as a
from his
3-1.
performance.
You see, so
3-1.
but brother, if you look at Tottenham's squad, they don't have such a big squad.
Yeah,
They don't.
that's
So
true.
there's whole European conference playing the Thursday and then
That's
playing
kind
again the
now,
weekend.
man.
Bruh.
Now, I'm with Spurs 2-1. Lukaku will score, but Spurs is gonna clinch at 2-1, and Ali scoring. He's definitely scoring. I'm so confident.
I say
I'm putting him in
3-1
my fantasy
Chelsea.
team.
3-0 Chelsea.
If it
Anyways,
wasn't for them playing in the week, I would have gone a 1-1 draw. But I see Chelsea as having the quality over them.
I know
okay.
about Chelsea having the quality or the depth or whatever, but I'm talking about Nuno on the day, like he did with City, on the day. So regardless of tonight's game, I still see him out minding Tuchel and getting the 3 points. So
Serious.
2-1. Yeah?
That's definitely big deal, bro.
That is big deal, my guy. That is big deal. Okay, and then before we come on to final thoughts, the last one, but now I want you guys to take into consideration last week's league fixture and the Champions League. Man of the week, Master P.
Yo,
Man
last
of the
weekend
week.
Champions League.
I was gonna go with
Premier League? Premier League
Oh.
only.
Premier League and
No, the player.
yeah, the player,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
okay. I was gonna go with Cristiano. Had they gotten a draw out of the young boys game, because obviously, look, he had a crack of a debut or second debut. But I'm gonna go because of the result last night. Well, whenever they played, I'm gonna go with Romelu Lukaku because I think, I mean, look, he was the difference maker midweek. I think it was clear for everyone to see, and I think if it wasn't for him, we'll probably draw that game, and he was a difference maker. And of course, I mean, you saw what he did with Villa. I mean, the composure in that box, bro. Like, that was beautiful, and that's what we brought him there for. So I'd have to go with him.
Fair enough. Penny B?
The obvious choice would have been Romelu, but I'm gonna have to go with Cristiano. 3 goals, 2 games. Yes,
can
we
hear
lost,
that as
but
well.
he scored. 3 goals, 2
Can hear
games.
it.
Good enough for me.
Fair enough. I can hear that one. Peter?
I'm with Pascal on that one. I would have been biased even if Salah scored that penalty, but we know what he can do, so I wouldn't put Salah up there. If it was on a manager, I would have put that Klopp. If it was just on Premier League, it would have been Thiago. If he started last night, it would have still been Thiago. But I'm leaning towards Lukaku.
Okay, fair enough.
That's
My
the
man
obvious choice.
man of the week is none of you guys. Even if he doesn't play Champions League, mine is Odson Edward
Yo,
For doing-
Palace, nah?
Two
Yeah,
shots,
for
two
doing
goals.
what he did. I'm
Yeah,
going
pretty
with
good.
that
And also,
either way.
special mention to Patrick Vieira. Special mention to Patrick Vieira.
Vieira, whoa,
Special mention.
Vieira, whoa. sorry, I just had to.
No, but I do agree with Benny. I think I think if we're not advocating for anyone at Arsenal to be fired, so I'm not saying that somebody
I'm
should be
advocating
fired.
for all of them to get fired.
No. But I think if Patrick Vieira does a decent job in this Palace job, I think you guys should look into hiring him as a coach,
He's walking
especially if
into
you
Arsenal
want.
next season.
Yeah, especially if you guys don't want to go for somebody like a Conte or whatever, I think Patrick Vieira would be a perfect fit.
Young man said, "Young boys from Menenberg."
They have Koens
Man
team,
said,
yeah,
"Young
full of
boys
stuff.
from
Zach
Menenberg." Flop of the week, Master P.
I want to go with Tottenham as a team, but does it have to be in the Premier League or it can be the Champions League?
It's yours. It's your choice. Doesn't this know who you feel is the flop of the week? Look at me. I
Okay.
picked Edward.
I have to go. I have to go. Sorry, Benny. You know, you're my brother. You know, I love you and everything. But I have to go
Fuck
with
you,
Jesse Lingard.
Pascal.
No, that was a terrible. Jesse Lingard. That was a perfect assist, I must say. But I mean, come on, bro. Like you
He's
need to know
my
where
flop of the
you're.
week. He's my flop. Definitely my
Nah,
flop.
My
that was
flop is
terrible.
Ole. My flop is Ole. No coach goes to young boys from the Premier League with a team that they have, and in the 50th minute decide to park the bus against young boys, and it's not
With
the players'
10
fault.
fucking
That's-
men. With
that's
10
not-
men.
I don't care.
You all forget about the fucking red card. And I
Benny,
understand
if you
that.
started that game with 10
you know,
men,
I
if you
fully
started that
understand
game
it
with
because
10 men,
ever since
you
we
would have
signed
still won
Ronaldo,
it.
it's torture for everybody involved. I know you have been waiting very long for this. But gents, really, man, it was a 10-man United away in the Champions
Benny,
League.
are you
10 men.
really gonna
Doesn't
tell
matter
me?
how fuck it is. It's away in the Champions League. You don't come to the Champions League if you cut. You
But
don't.
then you don't act scared. You don't pull down your pants and act scared and say, "Come at us," because there's no
It's 10
way.
men. It's 10
It's
men.
not about that.
What do you want
Young
us
boys
to
would
do?
not-
Score.
Young boys would not have attacked you the way they did had you played that way. If you played,
Bro,
how
you
ended
couldn't
the
score a
first
goal
half.
against a 10-man Chelsea either. How cuck wasn't that? How cuck wasn't that?
You comparing Chelsea to young boys, really?
No, I'm not. It's the same thing. 10 men.
It's
It's
not.
a difference no matter who the fuck you are.
It's not. You cannot play with. If you say it's because of the 10 men, make those changes, and then at the end of the game you decide now we're gonna go for it. Bring on attackers. You had the whole of the second half to play your normal game. Why sit back? Now you accept the
With
pressure.
10 men.
You invite him.
With
You
10
invite
men.
the pressure.
With
Yes.
10 men. 10 men and a
Benny-
Ronaldo that's not doing fuck all by just holding the whole time. So you're basically
Now-
playing with 9 men.
Now listen
You're
to
basically
this.
playing with 9.
You saying you 10 men, so why play a tactic to invite pressure? If you 10 men, you already short.
What else
now
can
you're
you do,
inviting
Lisa?
them in.
What
Attack
else can you
them.
do? If our 3 in midfield, remember Ronaldo's not pressuring nothing from their defense. So our 3 in midfield is basically playing against 7 young boys players. You want us to keep the fucking ball? Who are we playing? What are we
So
playing?
what? So you
When
think Ole made the
Lingard
right
sub?
choice? So Ole made
For
the
me,
right
yes.
choice
For me,
by
yes.
parking the bus,
Yes, for me, yes.
wasting
He-
time in the
I
50th
said
minute.
all of that subs before he made
Who
it.
wasted?
All
Who
of that
waste
subs I
time
said before he made it.
in the 50th minute? Who says the Gaya don't take a goal kick in the 50th minute? Waste time. Take a yellow in the 50th minute. There's
50th
so much you
minute,
can do.
We were under the pump.
40 minutes to
What do
play.
you do? Take the
You
time.
allowed you to be
Have a
under the
breather.
pump.
What are you supposed to do? Bro,
Not in
it's
the
away in
50th
the
minute,
Champions
Benny.
League against a team,
Not-
man.
Not
When
in
we
the
go through to the
50th
next
minute.
round, you're not even going to remember this, cuck. But I can understand the hatred. And I can understand how lucky you've
There's
got.
no hate.
Because it has
There's
been
no
really tough ever since Ronaldo came. It's been tough on all of you. I fully understand. But
No,
bruh,
no,
really,
you're trying to turn
really.
it around.
No,
No,
I'm not.
I have
Bro,
no idea.
you have never, ever been this fucking vocal on a United
Look
loss
here.
ever since.
Parking the bus was a
Bro,
cowardly thing to do.
bro.
This bruh's name is the United Show SA. He fully
Yeah.
disagrees with you.
That's
So what
Navici.
must you do? Like, what must you do? What must you do? Go attack him and lose 7-0, 7-1. What must you
Do
do?
you hear?
I think Beaster froze. Yeah.
Yeah,
If it is-
his phone said now, fuck, this bro's talking too much cock.
He's coming back. Don't worry.
That is
I
God.
was-
That is God telling you, relax, you extra.
Who's your
I
flop?
was-
Look at it, tell me, how far it looking.
Benny, who do you go for? The flop
Who's
of
your
the
Sorry?
flop? Yeah. Who's your
Who's
flop?
your
My flop, Jesse Lingard.
Yeah, I know it has to. For me, look,
Jesse Lingard.
for me, United still walks away with something from the game if he doesn't do what he did.
And it's
So-
a point game. It's a point
Yeah,
game.
exactly. No, but,
You can't-
but I'm looking at it and I'm saying I don't care. I don't care what was happening. I know it was a crazy atmosphere there, but I mean, dude, you know where you are on the pitch. This bra is at the back, and you kick it away, do anything. But to attempt a back pass in that environment at that time, and basically give the game away. And I'm sorry, no, he has to be the flop of the week, dude. Like
And the
seriously.
thing is, like a lot of people don't understand why Ole treats Jesse the way he does, because he is obviously this brilliant footballer. But
Yeah.
it's that small lapses of concentration, it's that
Exactly.
small lapses of focus that happens every single game.
Exactly.
You can score a hat trick. You can score a
Yeah.
hat trick, but there will be that lapse. You can't win a league with players like that. You can't win a
Exactly.
league with players that constantly give you that one mistake per game.
Yeah.
And sometimes they get away with it. Sometimes it happens like it did in the week, and your whole world comes crashing down. That's
Exactly.
what happened to Jesse. I like for him to play the next game to get that out of his system, because he is someone that has been struggling with mental health, and this could send him into a bad spiral, which we don't want for him. Nobody wants that.
True.
I hope
But he
he starts.
responded though.
I hope he starts. So he responded in the best possible way, but it takes something like this and the abuse that he will get, obviously, on social media.
Yeah, that's
The-
yeah. That's
Bruh.
also-
That
True,
also.
that's when you want the earth to open up and swallow you. And
Mm.
he would never have done that intentionally. He would
You know, of
never
course-
have done that intentionally. So
it's a
all
it's a
of the
mistake.
abuse is so unnecessary. It's a mistake, bruh.
Yeah.
And
No. For me
had
personally,
we
look,
drawn, we wouldn't have got this, and it was the last minute of extra time. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not too disheartened at all about this loss. And
Yeah.
it's banter for everybody else. Fuck them. The thing is, we know what we want this season. It's not changing. It's not changing. And rather now, let us take this loss where we can afford to lose. And it's not in the second round of the Champions League, or let us get back down to earth where we need to be, because since the signing of Ronaldo and the performance on Saturday, they were there. They were there in the club, in their minds. Everybody was saying this United team, I mean, going from genuine title contenders to all out in the space of what, 3 days?
3
I
days,
mean,
yeah. Facts.
Who's that fast in the bandwagon? Because that is exactly what United were on Saturday after busing Newcastle. We were genuine title contenders. Ronaldo is definitely the difference. That was the feeling when we started the Champions League game and he scored. That was the feeling until the red card. And that's where everything changed. I don't care about this result over the weekend. What happens is on Sunday, we need to see the comeback. What happens is
Yeah.
the next game, which is going to
Bounce
be West
back,
Ham
yeah.
again. Which
Yeah,
is going
that's
to
what
be
I
West Ham again. And then the next Champions League game, that's going to be the true test of this team. How they come out. If they're going to come out coming out like they came out for all these games, playing in the first half, try to nick it in the second half, nah, that's not going to fly with nobody at United. Solskjaer cannot afford that. So it's going to be very interesting what's going to happen next. West Ham can either be the best thing to happen to United or the worst thing to happen to Ole.
Yeah, I want to see how they're gonna respond to be honest.
Okay, but Benny said, Beaster said his connection bombed out. Benny's coach was my
God
flop.
is good. God is good. the time. All the time.
Wait, he says, final thoughts. Thanks to the peeps in the comments. I see some of the peeps I shared with were on. Big ups to them. Excited for our fixture because I see Klopp doing the real shit. What everyone didn't expect. Rotating the 11 and not the 11-man wonder of our winning season. Fair enough. I can hear that.
Did he type all that?
He typed it out now, yeah.
Wow.
He typed it out now.
Wow.
Final thoughts, Master P.
Yeah, no, look, obviously, I was a little bit hard on the team, but I'm a guy who tries to be as honest as I can in my assessment, and if something doesn't please me, even if it's my own team, I'm gonna point it out. You know what I mean? So, hopefully they're gonna, they're gonna show some character against Tottenham. It's another big game. I believe I think we've got Tottenham and we've got City at some point too.
City afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean it's gonna be a very challenging few days, a few games coming up, and I think we're gonna learn more about this.
Teams in the Champions League. What? Like it doesn't matter who the team is in the Champions League. Sorry, Pascal. Those fucking comments.
I've never seen this guy like this, you guys.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna learn a lot more about the Chelsea team in the next coming weeks. And I think we've also got Juventus next in the Champions League. So there's a lot of big games coming up. But yeah, look, it feels good to be a Chelsea fan at this moment in time because I think the investment's paying off and Lukaku is showing up. So yeah, overall, I'm very excited. Looking forward to the game week and let's see what that brings with it.
Fair enough. Lovely stuff. Penny B, your final thoughts, my guy.
The bounce back. That's all. The bounce back. The bounce back. Show me the mental strength of the squad. You know the quality. You need to see it. That's it. That's it.
Fair enough. Well, there you go. Love for the love, peeps. I want to thank Master P, Benny B, and of course, Beaster for jumping on. And of course, you legends in the comments. Like Benny always says, you guys make the show, and I couldn't agree with him more. You know what to do. Like the thing, share the thing, subscribe to the thing. It's Benny B, it's Master P, it's DVD, and we are here.